Hey guys, welcome to TGS. Today we're going to talk about my top 5 guns that I have seen this year. That's going to include some new releases and some guns that are older that we have seen. Anyway, let's start. So the first is probably the least exciting on the list, but it is the Silver Pigeon 3 that was re-released this year. We were part of the launch event, it was quite exciting, but most importantly with this gun is they had every opportunity to cock it up and they didn't. They actually produced a really nice looking gun that shot really well, that actually was good value for money. I liked it. It was pretty, yeah. It's a bit basic, but it's definitely on the list. Following on from that, we're gonna go to the Caesar Guerrini Giulia. I'm all up for new styles of engraving or new looks on guns. This was definitely a new look, a gold lady blowing a dandelion. It's pretty sweet. I like the look of the gun. It's a good looking gun. Okay, I know it's not that revolutionary, but I feel like we should be moving forward and away from fake scroll engraving. Laser engraved scroll engraving is just boring, isn't it? Let's move on. The Giulia is definitely a step in the right direction. I like it. All right, now an older gun. Back in March, we went to Holt's and did our first 100 guns at Holt's, which was really enjoyable. There was a gun there made by Tonyjekwell. I was going to bid on it. It then went for huge money. It was a single shot 270, hand engraved, beautiful scope, cased. This gun was in every way a piece of me. I loved it. However, it went for about 3 times the estimate, which is fair. I couldn't afford it, it was still a bargain even at what it sold at. But that was just stunning. Probably my favorite rifle of the year. And that's got some competition with others, but everything about it was just very me. Long stock, beautiful octagonal barrel, it was fit. It was the pengest, wasn't it, Sam? It was the pengest, the superlative peng. All right, next, the HW98 Laminate. I know it's a bit boring. I like the 98, I like the grey laminate. It's probably the best Springer I've shot this year. It's just got the weight, the trigger, everything about it was perfect. It's exclusive, it's limited edition, it's got everything I like. And made by Wildcard, which are, well, they are some of the best, for sure. Before we go any further on the list, a quick word from the sponsor of this video, Custom Fit Guards. Buying from Custom Fit Guards is not only easy, but buying from them supports 2 really good guys who I really like, which is also really important. Plus, if you use the code that's been showing on the screen this whole time, you get 15% off. Anyway, let's carry on with guns. And finally, number 5 was the 28-bore bar in wood sleeved Purdy that belonged to Lady Muse. That was just spectacular, unbelievably rare, beautiful, handled well even though it was sleeved, amazing story. Go and check that video out. That gun sold for £15,500 plus commission in the end. That's, well, I think it's fair money, but it's a lot of money and it was just beautiful, absolutely wicked, good story. A prostitute marries a lord. For those of you who've been watching that silly program, or wives have been watching that silly program on Netflix, that, to be honest, I quite enjoy. It's just a nice piece of history. I loved it. Tenacity, history, story, in a beautiful gun. Like, it's cool when you get guns with story that are a bit bland, but when you get a gun with some story that is also definitely. And I'm going to chuck a wild card in there. Because this year we're not going to do our worst 5 guns, because there haven't really been 5 guns that we have disliked that much. There's only been 2, and both of those would lose me friends if I came out and told people which they were. It's quite obvious if you watch us regularly which 2 I didn't like. And I'm going to say my wild card that I both love and hate is the gun that I bought from Holt's. I mean, if we're talking guns that I hated that I can talk about, the cheapest gun on the internet, that was vile. The Bakel that we shot at Pasco House, vile. Those 2, and there's a couple of others I'm not going to talk about, was the gun I bought at Holt's going back. I bought it at Holt's, we saw it in the sealed bid section. It'd been in a few times before in the sealed bid from after when I had a little look at it. A plain action, beautifully stocked gun with no name on it. It intrigued me enough that I paid 400 quid for it, even though it was definitely not worth that to anybody else, because no one had bid on it in 3 previous sealed bid sections. I want it. I went inside it. It is beautiful. I now know a little bit more about it than I'm actually allowed to tell anybody, which is really heartbreaking, but it is wicked, even though it doesn't work. I feel like I should try and fix it, but that's by the by. What else? Oh, I tell you what, I'm going to add another gun I really liked, the Zolly Evo XL. There's a gun that I was expecting very little of, and probably one of my favourite clay, it is my favourite clay gun I've shot this year. It was just lovely. Very well spec'd, put together nice, shot really, really well. And one final wild card that there is actually no footage of yet, so you're going to have to wait, that's going to be coming out later this month, is I shot a Dixon round action with Simon from Holtz. It was like nothing else I've ever shot. Beautiful, shot like lightning. That's got to be, it's not in my top 5, but it's pretty much there. It's in my top 5. It's in my top 8. There you go. There it was. My top 8 guns of 2020. I'd love to know what your top 5, top 8 were from this year that you've seen on the channel, and whether you think I've missed any. I probably have missed a few, but that's by the way. Yeah, I have missed a few, but oh well, it's too late now. Guys, Happy New Year to all of you. It's going to be a very interesting year ahead. We've got some great plans. We'll be doing a little vlog on that, hopefully in a minute. And we'll see you soon.